If you're searching for natural ways to reduce bloating or looking for some of the best supplements that can help with digestion, stay tuned because in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 of the best supplements that can help eliminate bloating and how these supplements can really help alleviate most common digestive problems. Hey, I'm Dr. Hagmeyer, and one of the most common symptoms that people with IBS and SIBO struggle with is bloating. Some of my patients are so bloated that prior to treatment, they'll tell me that they look like they're 9 months pregnant. Other patients will tell me or say, hey, Dr. Hagmeyer, I feel like someone has hooked me up to an air compressor and I feel like my belly is just completely filled with air. Or Dr. Hagmeyer, I walk around passing gas and farting all day long. It's okay to laugh at that, but seriously, not only can bloating be a symptom of IBS and bacterial overgrowth and yeast, but bloating can actually also cause bacterial overgrowth in your small intestines. You see, bloating is a symptom that you have an unhappy gut, and often it's something that will only get worse and snowball into other GI issues. And if you don't fix the problem, what happens is that when you get when you experience that bloating on a regular basis, it increases the pressure in your intestines, and that pressure keeps the ileocecal valve open, which in turn allows bacteria in the large intestines to move up into the small intestines where they don't belong. So when bacteria and yeast end up in the small intestines, that's where they cause bloating along with many other uncomfortable symptoms. And this is what we call SIBO or SIFO if it's yeast. Now, this is only one of the reasons for bloating. There are a lot of other reasons for bloating that in this video that I'll get into as well. So let's jump into today's video because again, I want to share with you 5 supplements that can really help you get this bloating under control. Now, really important, at the end of today's video, I'm going to tell you when it's really time to get some professional help and see a doctor. So make sure that you don't miss that part of the video. So number 1 on my list for supplements to help with bloating is probiotics, right? Probiotics are a type of beneficial bacteria, obviously found in the gut, and taking probiotics has been linked to a variety of health benefits that, believe it or not, extend way beyond just gut health. Studies have shown that probiotics can help not only obviously with gut health, but they can also help with skin, they can help with metabolism, weight loss, they can help you with mood, anxiety, depression, even cardiovascular health, among many other things like fatigue have also been helped. Now, there are many different kinds of probiotics and there are many reasons for bloating. But if the cause of your bloating is bacterial overgrowth, as in the case of SIBO or SIFO, again, that yeast overgrowth, I recommend that you first start with a soil-based probiotic, also known as a spore-based probiotic, rather than a probiotic like lactobacillus or bifidobacteria. Now, it's not to say that these other kinds of probiotics won't help, but I would recommend you first start with a soil-based or spore-based probiotic before lactobacillus and bifido species. Once upon a time when we didn't live in this hyper-hygienic, ultra-clean, germophobic world, we often had lots of exposure to soil-based probiotics and never gave much thought of it. As a kid, we drank from a garden hose, we didn't wash our hands 50 times a day, our kids played in dirt, and many of our vegetables had these organisms right on them, right? These spore-based probiotics. The reason I like these probiotics is because they do a fantastic job of just reconditioning our gut and increasing microbial diversity. And it's this microbial diversity that is the key to a healthy microbiome. Antibiotics, birth control, diet, antidepressants, antacids, blood sugar medications, oral contraceptives, all of these have a horrific effect on our microbiome. But studies done on soil-based probiotics show that they stay within the gut about 21 to 28 days, so they stay in about a month's time. And in that time, these soil-based probiotics use something called quorum sensing. And it's this quorum sensing that allows these bacteria to share information between bacteria and bacterial colonies. And it's this quorum sensing that soil-based probiotics help understand the microbial environment, and that helps them identify pathogenic or disease-causing bacteria. Again, soil-based probiotics encourage the regrowth of helpful good bacteria, and this increases microbial diversity. They're also very good at increasing something known as secretory IgA, which I did a whole video on, and that is super critical to gut health. Now again, spore-based probiotics, they contain endospores, and these endospores, they encase the probiotic stream, and this protects them from stomach acid, it protects them from bile salts, it protects them from enzymes. And so what that allows them to do is it allows a more or a greater percentage of these bacteria to survive this long journey from the mouth to the digestive system. And that's in part thanks to these endospores. So again, thumbs up for spore-based probiotics. Now, moving on to number 2 is ginger. Now, ginger, this one is a little bit more well-known, but when used properly, ginger can actually be very therapeutic to the gut. If you don't already know, ginger can relieve digestive distress and treat nausea. It can help with vomiting. It's safe for women who experience morning sickness. But ginger also helps prevent and alleviate bloating. All right, the trick here is getting the right dosage and the right strength. So sometimes ginger grown in our garden just doesn't do the trick. The other thing that I like about ginger is that ginger acts as a prokinetic, meaning that it speeds up how quickly the stomach empties its contents. And this in turn reduces fermentation, reduces bloating, which again is often seen in patients who have SIBO and IBS. Now, I did an entire video on Prokinetics, why they're so important if you have SIBO or yeast overgrowth, so check that video out. So again, if I remember, what I'll try to do is leave a link in the description box for that. So the moral of the story here is if you are dealing with an upset stomach, constipation, nausea, instead of reaching for those Tums, that Zantac, you may want to boil some fresh ginger, add a little ground ginger to some hot water, and drink that every morning and every evening. Again, indigestion is one of the top reasons for bloating, and ginger has the ability to reduce indigestion, which in turn can stop the bloating from happening in the first place. Now, if you've tried ginger from the grocery store or from your garden and it didn't help, I recommend that you take it in a concentrated ginger supplement, right? Just prior to bed and between meals. Supplements taken in pill form or liquid often or just have a concentrated source, or the active ingredients are a little bit stronger than what you might find on the grocery store or from your garden. So the other benefit here is, the other benefits to supplements is digestive enzymes, right? Digestive enzymes are critical for breaking down food into smaller nutritional components that can be absorbed in the digestive tract. And if this process is disrupted for any reason, you're going to experience symptoms like bloating and diarrhea and constipation and GERD and stomach pain and acid reflux. With digestive enzymes work because they help break down food into smaller molecules, small enough to be absorbed in the small intestine. And when your body can't break down food into these smaller molecules, that's when you end up feeling full all the time. That's when you feel bloated, and that's where you end up being constipated. Now, there are a few kinds of digestive enzymes that help with bloating, so let me quickly go over those. There's amylase, which breaks down carbohydrates and starches. There are lipases, which break down fats. And there are proteases, which actually now begin to help break down proteins. Now, if you have a problem with breaking down fats or proteins or carbohydrates for that matter, this could be, again, one of the reasons why you feel bloated and why you feel constipated. Next on my list is Betaine HCL. Betaine HCL is another supplement that can be incredibly helpful for digestion and bloating. And it works the same way as hydrochloric acid in your stomach works. It helps with the digestion of proteins and fats. And for many people with bloating, acid reflux, the problem is really not too much acid, but in fact, it's too little acid. Many times, if you're not able to properly break down proteins and fats, the most common symptom you experience is bloating and acid reflux. And while most doctors will tell you again that acid reflux is caused by too much acid, most people, in fact, don't have enough acid. And if you don't have enough acid, your stomach won't be able to break down those proteins and fats. The end result is you end up with a stomach that feels bloated all the time, and you're constipated, and you develop acid reflux, and you develop nutritional imbalances as well. And these nutritional imbalances are important because things like B12 and B6, low levels of B9, low levels of iron, low levels of calcium, low levels of magnesium, that is all dependent upon having good acid in your stomach. So again, this is where supplemental Betaine HCL can really come to the rescue and help. Now, as important as Betaine HCL and digestive enzymes are, all right, there's a word of caution here. If you have an active ulcer or you've been told that you have active gastritis, you want to avoid these for right now, and you want to focus on other aspects of healing your gut, like building up the mucus layer and the mucous membranes. The next supplement that may help your bloating is Psyllium. Psyllium is important for many people who have bloating because bloating can be a sign of constipation or even inflammation. And what Psyllium does is it adds bulk to the stool and it increases motility. And good motility is one of the keys in preventing bloating in the first place. So Psyllium works in the way that it has the ability to pull water into the intestines or draw water into the intestines. And this in turn creates a signal to start, your intestines to start contracting and moving things along. The great thing about psyllium is that studies also show that it helps significantly decrease intestinal inflammation, which can also be a culprit in bloating and digestive issues. So here we go. These are the 5 best supplements to help with bloating. I hope that they help you. And like I said in the beginning of this video, I said there are certain times where it becomes absolutely necessary to consult a doctor. So I want to review those with you. So here are 7 reasons you should consult a doctor if, in addition to the bloating, you experience these symptoms. So number 1 is you have severe or prolonged abdominal pain. If any time you have blood in your stool or your stools come back tarry looking, if you experience high fevers or there's a history of ongoing chronic low-grade fevers, if you have chronic diarrhea, if you have heartburn that's not improving, or if you have vomiting and nausea, and lastly, if you have weight loss, that's very, very important. These are all potentially very, very serious problems that you really need to consult with a doctor. Well, there you go. I hope you liked today's video. If you have questions about some of the things I talked about in today's video or ideas for another topic, drop me a comment in the section below. If you're struggling with bloating and you want to know more about working with my clinic, or you want to know more about functional medicine and its natural approach to problems like this, I'll leave a link in the description box that also goes over how you can become a patient. And lastly, if you think your bloating is caused by SIBO, go to my website, look for a section under the quizzes that says SIBO. This quiz can help identify bloating and IBS if the cause of that is bacterial related. So that's going to wrap up today's video. I hope you learned a few things, and I hope these supplements can really help you if you've been struggling with bloating or some of these other digestive problems that we've been talking about today. Until next time, I'm Dr. Hagmeyer. Take care.